In one word, I think Lux is intelligence, having providing us the intelligence to take decisions, right? My name is Luis Barojas. I'm a packaging R&D manager for the Constellation Brand. My role in the company is to develop all the uh, growth initiatives regarding to marketing initiatives and um, basically innovation and the top front innovation of the company is. Yeah, Constellation Brands is a CPG oriented into producing and distributing wines, spirits, and beers. Beers, more recently, they acquired this business 15 years ago. But right now, beer is the big part of the business. So it's around all consumer goods. They operate in different countries based in the US, but the operation of the beer division is based in Mexico because they bought the brands from Grupo Modelo, and probably Corona, Modelo, Pacifico beer brands. So yeah, it's sometimes people don't know who Constellation Brands is, but once you say Corona, I'm sure they'll have a Corona sometime. When I first started with Constellation Brands, we were transitioning from providing the product as this was the company was bought by a different group, so they were just in charge of trying to place the product in the market. So it was a very operational type of company, and we started transitioning into doing more research and trying to assure the future, developing a new different type of products. And then is when it made sense to include Lux as part of our research initiatives and to have a broader scope of what we were trying to achieve. Yeah, we started working with Lux probably 2 years ago. At a moment when we wanted to get a deeper understanding of what was the innovation out there. So we wanted to get a deeper understanding of, aside of our current suppliers, what else was out there that could help us enable the goals we had as a company, as from an R&D perspective. Lux help us understand, for example, the packaging and the fiber space. Because as I mentioned, the conversation was owned by our suppliers, right? So every time we asked them if they had something different, if we could provide probably or include alternative fibers or alternative to wood fibers in our components, or different type of solutions that could help us resolve from quality issues to supply issues, and also bring more innovative solutions to our products. Also, as you might be aware, the sustainable landscape or the conversation around sustainability and packaging is a hot topic today. So we wanted to be ahead of what our current suppliers were providing us. And there's where Lux was very important for us, because they help us understand the whole landmark around the different technologies, suppliers, and what else was happening outside. This, of course, drove a different conversation with our suppliers, and we were able to push them to at least talk about these topics in a more informed way. It might have been possible for us to build that knowledge inside our company, but it would have taken us a long time, probably talking about months or years. The good thing about working with Lux is that they help us to condense this time into probably weeks, because they had already a lot of this information available in their studies, and they even worked with us to uncover new information based on the specific needs we had. So it was great. It was like having a complete group or a different group within our company, just focused on digging out this information for us in a very condensed way and easy to understand. But I would say we would need to have at least one human resource dedicated to doing this full time. And depending on where you're seated, the cost would be a bit different. But just consider a whole resource full time dedicated for 6 months, trying to understand, reaching out to different companies just to be aware of what they were doing, and meaning this would be a human resource already trained in this specific terrain, right? So it would not be just an out of school person we could hire and start giving this work. And I think this is key, because every different topic we touch, we know Lux has an expert behind. So we don't need that human resource and that time consuming just to teach them what the baseline of an investigation of this type could be. Right, so this is really, really helpful for us. Having a subject matter expert within our team, once it is expensive, and then it is a resource dedicated to a specific topic. And with Lux, we have the possibility to have as many topics as we can imagine within a reasonable budget. Based on the amount of subjects that could be involved in our processes, in our supply chain, our suppliers, materials, it is great to have this conversations with the Lux experts, because it opens your mind to different topics that you thought were not related, right? So at that point, you start just getting more knowledge and a broader knowledge every time we have these discussions, and this brings an exponential return of knowledge for the company and time-wise, because otherwise we would have to have a subject matter expert for one of and each of these subjects. And with Lux, it's like having all of them in just one contact point. We had this information provided by Lux. We were able to have these conversations with our suppliers just to push the agenda, right? Whether it was from a sustainability perspective, a technology wise, or even just to understand what was their perspective on a specific topic. It was great because it helped us to maintain that conversation in a more technical level, and to push further what our suppliers were doing. This also helped us to understand whether to put our resources in terms of time, money, and future developments, because more with the research and development, most of the topics end at sometimes just saying, okay, it's not feasible, or it's not the right time to get there. And we were capable of taking these decisions very fast with the knowledge we had from Lux, and then putting this knowledge in front of our current suppliers. So I think it was a great use of resources and efficiencies to take these decisions, but in an informed way. the speed in which we were able to resolve or to take decisions based on the information that Lux provided basically was exponential to what we would expected without Lux's help. Having an internal resource, but just dedicated to searching for that info. But aside of that, the conversation with the supplier sometimes is very difficult. They don't want to let us know. They know different stuff. And that's where things get tricky. And these type of conversations could take years just to dig down into the supplier's knowledge. But once they know, we are in a different level. And conversations and the information starts to flow in a very rapid way. So that was probably the key part of having this information available for us to speed up the conversation with our suppliers. And probably it took us a couple of months just to say, okay, X, Y, and Z subjects, let's put our efforts in 1, 2, but the rest probably is not the right time. It's not we don't have the sufficient technology evolution. A couple of different subjects aside from packaging that we were able to explore very quickly. I mean, artificial intelligence being one of them. It's similar to sustainability. It's in everyone's mouth these days, right? But at some point, companies are scared to move forward with what artificial intelligence could provide. And for us, that was key, right? Just to have a couple of conversations with the subject matter expert from Lux and getting a broad understanding what really is behind artificial intelligence, what are the different areas they could help us with. And this kind of opened the door as well to start using these technologies within our company, to lose that scareness around the people just even talking about artificial intelligence. So I think that was one key subject aside of all the packaging stuff we manage with them in a daily basis. And the other thing is around alternative processes as well. They help us in a very valuable way just to understand what different alternatives for processing products similar to what we are doing in a very fast way. We found there were already existing documents, scientific documents that proved what different processes could do to our products, and that was probably 1 or 2 years of investigation if we were not able to have those papers in hand. Just by contacting the suppliers, trying to put an experiment in place against just having the info from a first hand and reading it and saying, okay, this process could serve, this process is not useful, this is the impact. So I think there's a lot of different topics. And one of the interesting things that happens when you talk with the subject matter experts at Lux is that you start discovering new topics around one basic thing you were asking for. You could add with 20, 30 different things. You just want to, okay, I want to know a little bit more of this and that. And then there is where the richness is in these research projects. That one thing led you to another, and you start joining the dots in different ways that you could imagine before having these conversations. So I think there's a lot more to dig around this partnership with them. It's still ongoing and in the future. In one word, I think Lux is intelligence, providing us the intelligence to take decisions, right? Okay, so one word, intelligence, but all that comes behind having that intelligence available is what I think it's more important. Even just topics not necessarily related with projects we are handling, but we had a couple of of presentations by Lux team to a broader team in our R&D different areas, and it's just a matter of getting knowledge to the people, right? And aligning on some subjects like sustainability that is it's like a buzzword today, and there's a lot of noise around what is and what is not. And for me, that is what Lux provide, that intelligence to let us know what is a different and a neutral point of view, which is very important in our day-to-day activities.